2 years of thrilling twists and turns for all the characters involved in the deal has been nothing short of a television drama playing out in real life. I can bet both Zee and Sony studios are unlikely to ever be able to beat. Now, first to the news. In a big blow to the Zee shareholders, Sony terminated the merger with Zee after 2 years of deal process to create a $10 billion company. Now, Sony mentioned that the decision has been taken in this particular deal because the closing conditions weren't satisfied for the merger. Zee had sought an extension which Sony declined to agree upon. Now, Sony demands $90 million from Zee as termination charges, and the Zee board is evaluating all the options and steps for even taking legal action to contest it. Now, surprisingly enough, Sony did not mention Punit Goenka's MD and CEO position as the key reason for the breakdown of the deal, which has, remember, been widely speculated. So, Zee, however, clarified, stating that Punit Goenka had offered to step down from the leadership position. Now, sources with direct knowledge of the development share with CNBC-TV18 on the mega merger and the ones which are directly involved have really shared that the investors' fate and the company's fate hinged on a verbal, informal proposal by Sony and the negotiations that transpired around it. So, the deal makers with direct involvement in the merger shared that Sony only verbally communicated the change of heart on Punit Goenka's position in the merged entity after the SEBI investigation ensued. So, Zee reverted with two separate proposals to agree with the informal proposal by Sony on the critical change in the terms of the agreement. Proposal 1 of Zee was to really implement the merger in its original form and then jointly search for an independent CEO. This was rejected by Sony. Zee's proposal number 2 was that Punit Goenka steps down but retains the board position, and when that was rejected by Sony, Zee revised to really appointment of a nominee board member. Now, sources suggest that Sony rejected all these alternatives and finally decided to call off the merger. Now, throwing light on the legality of this informal proposal, the legal experts with direct knowledge say that the informal route of change in the clause was a commercial decision by Sony, as the formal change in the clause would have really opened the deal for a renegotiation, which would also require and involve compensation to the merger partner to agree to the changes sought. So, the outcome of the deal in the end is that the shareholder value destruction has taken place, with Zee stock falling sharply after several brokerages have derated Zee stock. So, next steps to watch for the shareholders will be more deal options for Zee that could be in the making. Second, of course, the intense competition in the media and entertainment sector will now have to be fought by Sony and Zee individually instead of a strong behemoth, and also now the legal tangle between erstwhile merger partners, now warring parties.